Hey, what's up? You know, I was thinking about atheism, and I was comparing it to religion. And I was thinking, like, why does religion have more of an impact than atheism does? And I was thinking that, like, it's because there's no there's no motivation coming from it. It's not you're not motivated long enough. See, with religion, you have this God. The God is unbelievable. It's all forgiving. It's invisible. You can't see it in some religions. It would be Islam or Christianity. He's dead or he's resurrected. He's done all these feats. He's doing all these miracles. He's magical. I mean, it's like it's infinite type stuff. You know, and and people use that to do good or bad, and it'll be and they justify um, why they do it with their beliefs of this guy. And I was noticing that the problem with now, if you look at like all the SJWs, you notice that they're all atheists. And now atheism has kind of become a religion, but it's not really fulfilled enough. It's not enough there. They don't have a God. They don't have any miracles. They don't have any feats. They don't have any book. They don't have any prophets. They have their leaders. Sometimes, and then most of the leaders are usually kind of flawed. They usually die. They don't live forever because they're humans. So there's not enough motivation there. There's not enough fulfillment. You're not fulfilled enough. That's why most of the time when let's first of all, atheists are usually not anti-God. They're usually just anti the religion they came from. So, Muslims who leave Islam and realize, okay, this religion is jacked up, and they leave and they become atheists, but they're really anti-Islam. And then people who are used to be Christian, they realize, okay, it's being jacked up. I'm not getting what I want. They leave and they become anti-Christian. So they're not really anti-God. They're just anti-Christian. They don't believe. They didn't get fulfilled enough. So they leave. Or they find out some stuff in the Bible like, whoa, that's kind of messed up. And I never noticed that before. And then they leave because of that. Because of they finally read the Bible. So here's the problem with atheists versus religious people. You know, I mean, you got the Muslims, right? They hate the Christians. They hate the Jews. They want to kill them all. They want to wipe these people off the planet. And you would say like, wow, that's some hatred right there that they would want to do that. I mean, can you imagine atheists having that type of hatred? It's like you say, well, where does it come from? It doesn't come from the person. There's just no way you can have that much hatred. You would hate Jews that much, and you want to wipe them off the planet. It got to be some type of motivation to want them to do that. It's coming from this unlimited God. See, I was saying like, if you there's a lot of atrocities in the world, and a lot of religious people say God doesn't make mistakes. And atheists will say, well, yeah, God does make a whole lot of mistakes. But if you don't believe in God, then he doesn't make any mistakes. That means all the atrocities in the world are coming from humans, correct? They're not coming from God. If you don't believe in God, man is making all the mistakes. So you would think, okay, now that atheists believe, now that atheists know that all the mistakes are not coming from God, they're coming from people, you would think they would solve all the mistakes in the world. But they don't. All they do is sit around arguing about religion all day, how it's wrong, and people are motivated by the wrong factors and wrong things, and religion makes people evil and corrupt. That's all they do. They argue about this religion itself, how we need to get rid of it, but they don't focus on the fact that they know now that all the mistakes in the world are not caused by God, but they're caused by humans. You would think the atheists will all get together and rectify these mistakes that we have made in life, but they don't. All they do is argue about religion all day. And the reason why they don't solve the mistakes is because they're not motivated enough. They're not fulfilled enough. Atheism doesn't fulfill people enough. It's like if you have a God that's unlimited, he's going to be there forever. That's a lot of motivation. That's why religious people usually end up giving more charity than the Democrats, who usually don't believe in, don't like religion that much. If you've been around a lot of Democrats, they're not really religious. So that's why conservatives will always give more money. They will always do more charity. It's because they're worshiping a thing that's forever. Your science and your scientific facts can be disproven easily. A lot of the times, you have to rely on these scientific facts to be true. But you say, well, all this religious stuff, all this religious thing, they're not really facts. They can't be proven to be true. But that's where you mistake. It's not about are they real, are they true? Is it motivating people enough to do things, good or bad? Do you really think you're going to be able to fight the Muslims who believe in a God that's unlimited, is all powerful, all seeing? And they believe that God has said this is what we need to do, is to wipe out the Jews off this planet and to make everybody Muslims. You really think you're going to fight a person like that? Like you said, but like, how you going to kill a person that's not afraid of death? Atheists, they don't believe in God, they don't believe in heaven, they don't believe in hell, they don't believe in deeds, they don't believe in like resurrection, they don't believe none of that. So they don't want to die. They want to live their life. Matter of fact, I don't know. I don't know what their motivation is. What they want to do. They're going to live or not. I don't even know. I kind of feel like they want to die as cool as they can now. They don't care what they do with themselves. They don't care how they live, because they don't. If you know, Christians, religious people, they're usually a lot more healthy, a lot more motivated. But it's good and bad. You can't say that all religious people are healthy. All religious. Some people say they're Christian and you find out they smoke. Some people say they're Christian, you might find out they drink. Some say they're Christian, you find out they got 5 different kids with 5 different baby mamas. So I think the problem with Christianity has become like atheism. It's like whatever. It's like a pastime. You say you're a Christian, it don't mean nothing no more. That's why if the Muslim invasion does come, you ain't gonna live that long. It's not gonna last. The Muslims gonna wipe you out real fast, because they are like wholly motivated by their religion. So the problem is atheism is not fulfilling enough. Once you figure out, okay, you know what? Okay, you're right. There is no God. Okay, what then? I mean, what's motivating you to fix the world? You have found out that there's no God. You have found out that all the mistakes in the world that have been happening is not God, it was just us. What are you going to do with that? I'm noticing that nobody's doing anything. Because, like I said, that if you look at the Antifa and all of them, most of these Antifa are atheists. Why do you think they have no problem with being trans and all those crazies? And no problem with being gay, whatever. Most of these Antifa is atheists. And over here, they're not really fulfilled. They're not motivated enough. They go to a rally, they hit some right ring over their head, they're done. They go back to Starbucks. They're done. I mean, that's not enough motivation. They're not even like totally. The information that they have is just like, it's not even like complete. You argue about things, they halfway don't even know what you're talking about. They can't even answer simple questions. I mean, democracy. Like, yeah, we gotta have a democracy. Like, democracy means group think, meaning the group can be 5 people. They think democracy means we all rule. No, democracy can mean 5 people rule. The group, the group, the group could be 5 people. Man, it could be one person. Man, it's like you're not saying how many people are in the group. You're just saying that it's a group. Group think, group majority rules. So the group could be 5 people, majority rules. 3 people rule over the 2 people because the majority is the more than a half. So it could be 5 people in a group, 3 people in the group making all decisions over the 2 people. So he's an idiocy. They don't even know what they're talking about. They feel as though they don't even have no more information than what they have now. And that's why, a lot of these countries are having so many problems. It's because they don't have any motivation now fulfilled enough. There's not enough there for them to be fulfilled to fight anything. They don't want their culture. They don't want their culture no more. They don't want their religion no more. They don't want anything to fight anymore. They just want to live a simple, basic life, having basic information, and having this unfulfilling motivation. So when the Muslims do come in, they usually take over real fast because the Muslims are coming in with religion. They're coming in with an unlimited, invincible God. They're believing in an invincible God. So while the atheists are arguing about how God doesn't exist, and about religion and how it's wrong, these Muslims are killing you all and about to conquer you all. And you're sitting there arguing about which religion is correct or which religion is wrong, or we need to get rid of all the religions. You're focusing on the wrong things. You have nothing to fight for. But they do. They do have something to fight for. They're fighting for a God that's unlimited, that's unseen. You can argue all day how it's not true, that God doesn't exist. While you're dying, you're arguing about, does God exist? He doesn't exist. I can prove that he doesn't exist. No proof that he exists. You're wasting time. And you should be fixing your country, making sure you keep your culture intact. Your problem is the religious people got more motivating them. They got more driving them to do either wrong or right. And there's nothing driving you. You have your leader, he might die. You're done. You got to move on to the next leader. One of your leaders might end up being false. And one of your leaders, you have to always look to them for your answers. But guys, he's not giving you no answers. But somehow, this guy that's not talking to you, not giving you anything, that God is still being motivated more than your gods, your leaders. Because your leaders can be wrong, they could be right, and if they are right, that's not enough. Once you figure out that he's right, you move on. That's not enough. You can't really go too much far with that. Okay, you know what, Neil deGrasse Tyson, he was right. And you move on. This information that Neil deGrasse Tyson is giving you, what is it doing for you? It's not doing nothing. It's not fulfilling enough. Information you get from these Richard Dawkins and all these people, it's not enough. It's not making you a better person. It's not making you say, you know what, there's all these problems in Africa. Yeah, you're right. Global warming, yeah, we need to do something about that. Do you really think you're going to argue to an Indian living in a hut about global warming? Man, you could have gave him some money by now. It's like you're it's like you're just proving that your life is empty. Your life doesn't mean anything. You're just proving that you wasn't going to do anything anyway. You just use the fact you're an atheist to act like, well, I'm better than these religious people because I don't believe in this invisible God in the sky. But with that information, you have done nothing with it. You haven't done any, because these religious people have done extreme bads and extreme goods with their motivation and with their religion. But with your belief system, you have done nothing but just talk about how your belief system or your structure is better than theirs. But they have done extreme bads with their religion, and extreme goods, and you have done nothing with yours. So, if your structure is better, then prove that it's better. You haven't proven that yours is better. All you have proven is that you're right and they're wrong. But all the while they're conquering you. All the while they're giving the most charity than you. All the while they're doing better than you and fulfilling and building more than you. Think about how quick a temple, like a masjid, like a Muslim temple goes up. How fast they did it. Just with religion. How fast they was able to build a temple. How fast they was able to build a church. I mean, where's your atheist center? You know, where's your like building where you're gonna teach your atheism to people? Where's it at? You know, you don't. It's not fulfilling enough. You're not fulfilled enough. It's not enough. It's not. Nothing is motivating you enough. So it's never gonna go that far. So what I'm saying is, if you're correct, if you're correct, if God doesn't exist, and if you're proving that God is making God, that none of these mistakes are done by God, they're done by people, then when are you gonna fix them? When are you gonna fix all the mistakes that we have made as humans? Humans have been made these mistakes, not God. They have been done by people. When are you gonna fix them? Are you gonna stop arguing about religion all day? You know, okay, you prove, okay, religion is false. Okay, you prove that. What are you gonna do about it? When are you gonna fix all the problems in the world? Are you gonna keep arguing about this stuff? Because all you're doing is proving that you didn't really care in the first place. And nothing motivated you enough to care, to fix anything. So all the while the earth is, the universe is getting more and more messed up, the culture is getting more and more corrupt, and you're arguing about how religion is wrong. All the while, all these bad things are happening. So, when you gonna get woke and stop fixing these problems? Because you know, you're the one saying that God's not making any mistakes. We are. So it's time to fix them. All right. So what do you think? Do you think that we spend way too much energy on atheism? We spend way too much energy on how God doesn't exist. We spend way too much energy on how religion is false and how everything in the religion is bad. You know, and we should have been fixing the world. We should have been focused on fixing the world. Because I can tell you right up, man, straight up, like, you ain't beating no Muslims. They are way too motivated. They're way too organized in you. Man, Tom always tell the truth. You know, how fast I see churches go up. Christianity too. Christianity is crazy. How fast churches go up. You know, they go down, come up. How fast they come up, go down. And these big old mega churches too. How fast masjids go up. Man, you go to, like I said, you go to Dearborn, Michigan, man, it look like Iraq up in there. they got a big old, they built like a big old masjid temple up in there. You know, they got like banks up in there, they got Islamic banks up in there, got Sharia law up in there. Try to go up in there at Dearborn, Michigan, telling people what to do, what you're talking about, your atheism and stuff. They be throwing rocks at you, man. They would kick you out in a second. They got women wearing like full burqas up in there. You know, dudes with like multiple wives, they all got 5 kids. You really think you gonna conquer that? You're atheist, you ain't got no military, you ain't got no, you don't have your leaders are too flawed. Neil deGrasse Tyson ain't even a scientist. All your leaders are flawed, they're living, that means they will die. That means when they die, you gotta move on to another leader. It's just too flawed. You know, you say, well, religion is flawed. But that's not your problem. Your problem is that, you know, religious people are fulfilled and motivated enough to conquer you. But you're not. You're not motivated enough. So even with your own self, you can't even motivate your own self to do what's right and to make the world a better place. I don't know, man. But whatever. I think y'all people need to just focus. Focus on your goals. Religious or not, focus on your goals. What are you trying to accomplish? That's all you got to do. Figure out what you're trying to accomplish, and then you'll accomplish it. Arguing about religion all day, it's a waste of time. You need to focus on fixing the problems. And the ones that you can fix right now. Like I said, right now, you can be a good father. Right now, you can be a good son, a good daughter, a good wife, a good girlfriend, boyfriend, a good person. You know, right now you can do that. So focus on that. All right, peace out.